is Craig, Whisper and Storyteller here. And I hope you are well. So today is the 30th of March, 2025. It is Sunday morning and I am sitting with my usual cup of coffee. It's instant coffee, which is what I kind of prefer. And I'm here today to catch up with you and talk to you about life. For anybody who has not visited this channel before, this is an ASMR video. And it is aimed to relax and just be a way for me to talk about everyday things. I do it once a month at the end of each month, and I've been doing it for quite a few years now, but it's nice to have any new viewers on board. And as for my usual viewers, I love you all, you know I do, and I'm so grateful for you, so thank you for joining me for my monthly ramble. And I always pick a Sunday morning because it tends to be a very quiet, relaxing time. And yeah, I've been messing around with the room a little bit, so I've got all of these vinyl out, which has been under my bed for the longest time, and I thought, why not just stick it out? And it just is a nice backdrop, and of course I love music, and it's a way to connect with it when it's visually there in front of you. And I've had a bit of a play around with some of the vinyl in the background as well. So what has been going on in the month of March, I wonder? Well, as always, I generally look at my calendar and I just list everything that's been happening, and I just reel through it, very naturalistic, nothing fancy, just me and you. So one thing to mention is today is the start of British summertime, or BST. BST, British summertime. And it's good news for me because it has been a long, dark, wet, cold winter. So I welcome that extra hour's daylight, even though we are losing an hour. I would sacrifice that for daylight and sunshine. And light, even if it isn't sunny, it's still light. But the UK is still having a lot of cold weather. It's probably colder than it should be this time of year. And it's constantly windy as well. I'm just waiting for some nice, settled weather so I can get out in the garden, which is very therapeutic for me. I do love to spend time in the garden. And I've got a few grand designs this year. I haven't been in the garden very much at all over the last couple of years, just due to job changes. More about that. And being in the garden and just relaxing is a favourite pastime of mine. I love nothing better than to be mowing the lawn with my headphones on, listening to a good audiobook or a good album or whatever. And yeah, last year wasn't the best summer here, so I'm looking forward to some nice weather. I'm going to manifest nice weather this year. It's also Mother's Day today in the UK, so we are, yeah, I bought my mother a bunch of flowers and a card, and I'm going to go and catch up with her soon. And we're going to have a family dinner. So, yeah, it's super nice to pay your respects to your mother on these days, even though we don't need to have a national day to tell our mothers that we love them. But it's still a token gesture to join in with Mother's Day and do the cards. Last year I went to Newcastle and I took her for a lunch. But I haven't done that this year due to that word W-O-R-K, which is just all encompassing, but I'll get on to work in a few minutes. So how are you? You know, one thing I was thinking of doing was a ramble every now and again where it could be a nighttime ramble. And I could drink a nice beer, I could pick a nice beer which is different, and we could do a tasting video and a chat with, more of a ambient light and with it being dark and colours. And it could be a catch up with over a beer. How does that sound to you? It was something I was thinking about introducing, and just as an alternative to the Sunday morning, the daylight, the coffee, because I do like a beer. I'm not much of a spirit drinker or anything like that, but I do like a beer. So let me know if you think that's a good idea. So first things first, let's talk about work, because I know my previous two rambles, January and February, have been more around my discontent, if you like, with my current job, which I only started just over a year ago. It was my anniversary just a few days ago. And yeah, I haven't had the best time with the jobs over the last 5 years. Without repeating myself, I'll do the shortened version. So I was in a job for 20 years, got made redundant. COVID hit, I've just gone from job to job and trying to discover myself the whole time. What is important to me at this point in my life and what isn't important to me. And if you're anything like me, life is a discovery. Even though you become so established, sometimes you still feel a revelation when you explore an idea and it makes sense. Now, I am a compulsive overthinker. I know that. Everybody tells me that. And I know there's times when we have to get out of that rabbit hole and stop analysing, stop thinking, and just live. But I usually go on these tailspins when I'm unhappy. And I try to think, well, what is it about my current situation that's making me unhappy? So I'm in a job at the moment which is incredibly fast-paced. It's a 5-day week, which leaves me just 2 days to cram everything else in, including my beloved YouTube input. Previously, I had a more menial job, and the balance was much better because I had 3 days a week where I had free to do chores, do family things, things with my partner, and have a dedicated day to my YouTube creation. Now, I've lost that with this current job because it's all encompassing, it's fast paced, the jobs are kind of piling and piling up, and I'm struggling to get everything over the line. I even noticed that my hair was falling out the other day. You know, it's kind of coming out in clumps. It's either just old age creeping in, but I doubt it. I think it is stress related. So I'm kind of waking up at 2 a.m. worrying about something I forgot that day and having this compulsion to go and check my emails. I'm starting earlier in the morning, I'm finishing later on at night, I'm hardly taking dinner breaks. And yeah, so anyway, I will kind of continue this dialogue about my health, which kind of fits in with this because it's all related to the job, I know it is. My blood pressure is sky high, and I've been on this medication that the GP prescribed. But they increased the dosage because my blood pressure levels were still too high. And as a result, I had a double dosage of this medication. And I get regular blood tests to monitor my situation, and it came to light that my blood pressure, my blood was showing high levels of potassium, which I may have mentioned this in the last update. So I ended up in A&E, accident and emergency, for a good few hours while they monitored me. I was there until like 1 a.m. in the morning, and as a conclusion, they've reduced my medication back down, so it's high blood pressure, but at least my potassium levels have dropped. So I'm going to loop back to the job again now. So I think the job is the driving reason why I'm not so well these days. And I think it's more of a mental health issue. So I've decided to look for another job yet again. I know, I've drifted from job to job. I've had about 5 jobs over the last 5 years, which is unheard of for me because I was in my long-term role for 18 years. But it's still not quite right for me, so I've decided, I'm going to cut a long story short here. I've decided to look for a 3-day job. Something which is a little bit more menial and doesn't require constant concentration. And the reason for that is I want to focus on my YouTube channels. I need to focus on my YouTube channels because I want to grow the YouTube channels. This one and my other one. It brings me immense joy to do these videos, and I just find I'm getting less and less time to do them. And usually just feeling so burned out that I don't sometimes feel the drive to do one like I used to. But you have been incredibly kind and supportive, and I'm so grateful to that. And that is my direction of travel at the moment, is to reduce my weekly working hours. This will mean less money, of course, but health is more important, as I found out. So my focus is my well-being and my YouTube channels. I just need a balance in my life, and luckily I've got a really supportive partner. I've got a very supportive family, and that's what I'm going to do. It is decided. Anyway, I'm going to park the health and the job for a minute because I'm just rambling. It's obviously top of the agenda for me personally because this is kind of how I've been feeling in general lately. Let's have a look at what else has been happening. I'm a hopeless creative, so I've got 3 songs I've wrote, which are all in here. I've recorded some rough demos, the lyrics are not quite there yet, but I want to do another song so much. But of course, recording a song needs time, and that's what I haven't got at the moment. I'm writing another movie script with a really good friend of mine, and we met last Sunday, and we are blocking out this really cool thriller, which is all contained between 4 characters in the Scottish Highlands, and really enjoy writing. It's a great pastime of mine. I enjoy filmmaking, which I've took a massive step back from over the last few years due to this and that. So that's a plus. They are great creative projects that I have on the go, and of course I do this every week. My aim is to start to increase my uploads. Now the membership idea. I posed a membership idea to you a few weeks ago actually, and I put a poll up to see what you thought about me introducing a poll, and 62% said they'd be happy to support my channel growth, whilst 38% said they couldn't, or, obviously I understand it's extra money going out, completely understand that. But I'm so stoked that so many of you do want to support me, which helps me to go key time or part time in my day job so I can focus on this and start to have more updates each week instead of just the one. And of course my other channel, which I equally adore, is Wookie, it's like a plant I haven't watered for a few months now. And again, it's because of time limitations. Let's have a look at some of the things that's been going on. So my little dog Halo has had this awful case of kennel cough over the last few weeks, so we don't know where he got it from. Doesn't really mix with other dogs, but he was kind of spluttering during the night and thrown up, and we got him checked out at the vet, and she's put him on a course of, it's kind of like an antibiotic for dogs to try and reduce it, and he's much better now. But we're going to get his vaccination for kennel cough next week, because if you remember, we didn't have him as a pup, so I've got no idea what vaccinations he's had. But then I found out that kennel cough is a regular vaccination, so my bad. I didn't even know it was a regular. I thought it was a one-off vaccination. But there you go. So luckily my dog is going to be immunized against kennel cough, which causes him a lot of discomfort, especially it's awful when you can hear his wheezing when he's trying to go to sleep, and there was one night I was awake all night because I was worried about him. As I mentioned, work has been absolutely crazy, so I've been to 4 events this month alone, in March, visiting different places, doing videos, which is great because I love to do it. But then I'm struggling to find the time to edit due to the other jobs that I have. So one was a 2-day event, and I've also had a close friend's funeral. Another close friend, so I've lost a few people over the last year. But we paid our final respects to our good friend who has been my close friend for like 20 plus years. And she is a great miss. I did a charity walk called Peer to Peer a few weeks ago. So we walked from one pier in my region, because I live in a coastal area, to another pier, and I think it's about a 10-mile hike. And it was absolutely freezing, and we were wearing these luminous green beanie hats. But it's great for camaraderie, great to connect with other people for such a great cause. And it really created a lot of joy for me to be involved with that and feel like I'm given something. Coffee always goes cold. This happens all the time at work, so I work from home. I usually make myself a nice cup and forget about it, and it's cold. I'd also have a look through some of your comments. And again, this is in no particular order. I'll just look at the last few videos and pick out a few comments to read through. So since my last ramble, I've had a magazine flip, a Pets at Home magazine. Let's have a look at 3 comments on the magazine flip, and I'm just going to pick these at random. Donna Keaton, who is a great subscriber. Donna, thank you. Donna tells me that more of these types of videos are great for sleep. Just a suggestion, but you should do more story reading, as it's perfect for your voice. Well, I agree, Donna. Actually, that is my namesake. So story reading is definitely something I will return to, and I agree completely, and I love nothing better than telling a good story. Another comment, Christian DC 5447 informs that the sound actually is not bad and is reminiscent of older style ASMR videos, very relaxing. I remember now because that particular video, I lost the audio that I normally record on. I deleted it by accident in the edit and I had to use the ambient sound. So that makes sense. So thank you, Christian, and again thank you for your continued input and positive comments and viewership. Corey Reed 112 told me that they really love the longer format on this one. Keep it up. I've been with you since 2013. Well, thank you, Corey. It's a pleasure to have you with me, and I'm so pleased you're still on board and enjoying the longer content. I've done a couple of videos this month where I've drawn items. So I drew Jaws and I drew Furby. So the idea was it maybe might introduce a new continuation where I just pick something from behind me and we draw it and I tell you about how it came into my ownership. So I started off with Furby, and looking at the comments, Acid Rain Productions told me that I've just found an original Furby that my mother bought me just before I was born. It is still in the box, and I'm curious about the Kermit in your office. I'm a massive fan of the Muppets and would love to hear your connection with them. Well, my Kermit, is there. Oop, there he is. He's been with me a long time, and I will get round to telling you about him. But thank you so much, and wow, that you've got a Furby still in its box. Isn't that amazing? They are highly collectible and iconic toys, so I agree that they are great. Thank you so much for that comment. Thomas Baird tells me, thank you for another amazing video, pure whispering at its best. As always, I hope that you are doing well. Well, I am doing well, Thomas Baird, and I hope you are doing well too, my friend. And thank you so much for the great comment, and I'm glad that you're digging it, and I'm glad that I'm helping you relax and sleep and unwind. So I know you've been a long time subscriber, and I'm very, very grateful. Thank you so much. Here's another one from the Love Pie. Now, Love Pie was the one who gave me the idea of drawing something from my shelf, and Love Pie says, yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for making this video. I already know I'm going to sleep well tonight. It's so relaxing and nostalgic. I wonder how much Furby would be worth now. P.S. I loved the drawing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is lovely of you to say that. Furby, I'm not sure how much a boxed, unopened Furby would be. Quite a bit, I would imagine. 30 years since it came into existence. Unfortunately, my Furby behind me won't be worth a great deal because he's been through the wars, bless him. But he's got lots of love, and he has a nice warm shelf to sit on, and I will look after him. I then drew Jaws a couple of weeks back, and let's have a look at some comments on my Jaws video. So again, Jaws is one of my all-time favourites. Now I got 21 comments on that. Donna Keating. Ah yes, okay, so Donna said, wow, it was a great drawing. Have you ever thought of doing a doodle, a small postcard drawing to help support epilepsy research? My response to that was, hi Donna, I'm sure I would. Don't even think I'm that good though, which is true. I mean, I can draw, but I hardly kind of stand out as amazing. But if what I draw is useful or inspiring to other people or can help other people, I'm more than happy to do that. And epilepsy research, absolutely 100%. I'm big on supporting charities if I've got the time to do it. And it would be a pleasure to support with that. So, yeah, 100%. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, so there's a bit of an extra conversation. So Donna also announces, Craig, your drones are just what we need to auction off. Really? Wow. It would be greatly appreciated. It would help others find you on YouTube as an ASMR/artist. Again, Donna, I'm more than happy to help. If this part-time work comes into fruition, it will give me some much needed time to focus my creative energy, and I will 100% support you with this great idea. Let's hook up soon and find out what we can do to move forward with this, but I'm very much on board to help you. Thank you, and I agree. Not that I ask for anything in return, I absolutely don't, but it'd be nice to help to grow the channel and support this great, fantastic cause too. Last week was a big one. I did the Island of the Lizard King read through, and Island of the Lizard King is kind of there, waiting to be opened again. I had a great response from that, and people seemed to really enjoy listening to the story and making the decisions of what we do in order to free the prisoners of Fire Island. And slay the Lizard King, the evil Lizard King. So I will return to Island of the Lizard King for my next video and be happy to carry that on. Thank you so much, and I've got a heap of fight and fantasy adventure game books. I've got a pile of them. I collected them as a kid and lost them over the years. And these newer versions have been released, and while the artwork is different, I do appreciate it. But for me, nothing beats the quality of the original presence and those vivid, vivid illustrations inside of the books. So big thumbs up in regards to all your lovely comments and how special and loved it makes me feel. And I hope it makes you realise how loved and special you are to me. Okay, I am probably going to sign off and start editing this video and to get over to see my mother on Mother's Day before I get in the bad books. So over the next few weeks, it's Easter, and yes, the days get lighter now. I can start hopefully to get out a bit more and get some irons in the fire about reducing my workload and getting some much needed free time to work on this beautiful channel. As always, I will keep you updated next ramble about what's happened and if I've made any progress. And of course, you know, I'm more than interested in your lives too. If there's anything you want to talk to me about, you want to reach out, send me an email, send me a message, I will respond. I do know I don't always get back straight away, but I do endeavour to respond as quick as I can. But I'm very, very interested and love you all in your lives and what goes on, and appreciate every single one of you. So I am going to sign off and wish you all a very pleasant, restful night's sleep if you are in bed or relaxing, and if you're not and you're just listening as you go about your day, have a fantastic day ahead and love you lots. Take care. Bye bye.